Hello, y'all. This is your girl, Tiffany Deni. Welcome to the Tiffany Deni Show. We are here where we talk to the culture, with the culture, about the culture. And as usual, it's so much to talk about because our culture is just so flavorful. So it's a lot to go through. We have to talk about what's happened, what's happening, and then, of course, we have to talk about what we're talking about this month. And this month is not only a universal disability awareness month, but it is also minority mental awareness month, and that is kind of a big topic that we just need to discuss. So I already got y'all. Y'all know you can find me at Deni the Godmother, and you also know Family Flavors the Slide. We got y'all. So the first thing I'm gonna let y'all know is what we got coming up. So this weekend on July 17th, which is Sunday, from 12 to 5, we do have our free citywide field. Ooh, Jesus fix it. Our free citywide field day, and that is gonna be. And here we go, because we do this every week. But I'm gonna get it. It's gonna be at the Wild Flower Park, Enunciate, and it's in Colorado Springs, of course, and it's July 17th from 12 to 5. It's gonna be fun, y'all. We got games, we got bouncy houses, we got tug of war, we got food, drinks, races, everything. And I'm gonna be out there talking to the people. And then, of course, we are talking about giveaways, school supplies, all that. And we will be doing that. And also, if you still have some extra school supplies that you want to donate from last year, you're more than welcome to donate. So please make sure that you hit me up at Deni the Godmother or Family Flavors. You already know you can find them on social media as well. Or you can give us a call, 7936. I think I need to get tested for dyslexia. I mean, either way, it's Disability Awareness Month, so shout out to that. So that's the big thing. The big thing is seeing me and the whole Family Flavor Slide crew. We're gonna be at the Wildflower. I did it. Hey, I'm not gonna do it again. We're gonna be at that park on July 17th, 12 to 5, and it is just one big field day. We're gonna have a blast. And then on top of that, we also have the Craftmatic. He's gonna be doing Glow for Good, and that's gonna be on July 20th from 6 to 10. So make sure you hit me up for that. If you need any details of Sunset Yoga, you already know I like relaxing, I like exercising, and yoga's cool. It's not like exercise. I mean, it's exercise, but it's not exercise. So Sunset Yoga always sounds like a blast. Craftmatic, we had him in here a couple weeks ago. He was an absolute pleasure for DJ Appreciation Month. So I always want to support him. So Glow for Good, and it is going to be on July 20th from 6 to 10 p.m. Please make sure y'all hit me up if you need this. And then, the other people that I love to make sure I shout out what they got going on is Men of Influence, because those are the men in our community who kind of help our community thrive and make sure that they mentor these teens out here and make sure that they find things for especially our young youth to be out here doing. And they have their 1-year anniversary coming up on July 24th, and it's like a whole dinner. It's completely nice. And if you need to know any information about how to attend or volunteer, you can hit me up with that as well. So we got a lot going on, but this Sunday in particular, we do have our field day, the Family Flavors Slide Field Day. You want to make sure you come out. It is going to be a blast. We got so much going on. We are here for the people, and you know who I am. I'm here for the culture. So anything that's a culture move, especially in the city that I'm located in, Colorado Springs, is amazing for me. So with that being said, let's talk about Colorado Springs. We're actually calm this week. The avalanche went a few weeks ago, so that was kind of exciting, but now we're calm again. We had the election, so now we're calm again. So I'm actually grateful for that, because sometimes, like Colorado Springs, I don't know if anybody knows anything outside the city about the city, because when I talk to my family and say I'm in Colorado, they just say Denver. Like, they don't have time to decipher what part of Colorado I'm in. So I don't know. This is a calm week for Colorado Springs. We just have a lot of different things going on in the city. So, like I said, if you need to know what's going on, you make sure you hit me up. I got y'all. And then we have a lot to talk about in this last week alone. And that's just nationwide. The first thing is that we need to see that COVID is back on the rise. I don't know how this happened. I don't know why this happened. I'm not excited about it. I got COVID on Christmas. It's like this cold flu combination thing. Like, I don't know, like they made some, it's like, I don't know, like Freddie and Jason made a little demon child of a sickness. That's pretty much what COVID is. So LA alone got 15,000 cases, excuse me. 15,000 cases just from 4th of July weekend. So please be aware that COVID is back on the rise. Make sure when we out here having summer and socializing that we got it to an understanding. COVID and us have an agreement, but y'all can't be out here acting crazy when we're literally just getting over a pandemic, especially because we're headed into a recession and they don't got stimulus checks to give us this time. They taking them stimulus checks out on everything, the food prices, the gas prices, everything, child. So please make sure y'all stay safe out here. I always encourage people to, get to know people and socialize and all that, but just do it with a level of safety and awareness of who's around you. And something else that we have to talk about is my favorite show, which just got nominated for 5 Emmys. Abbott Elementary. Quinta Brunson, who I've been a huge fan of, she has a book that I just finished reading, where it's called She Means Well. Actually is the first black woman to receive 3 comedy Emmy nominations, which I'm excited for. Rotten Tomatoes rated Abbott Elementary 100% on comedy. That is like the first time they've ever done that with the first season show. So if y'all have never caught Abbott Elementary, I love it because, of course, it has leading people of minorities that play in the positions. It's hilarious, and it takes place in Philadelphia, one of my favorite cities, and one of the cities that I feel like is most underrated in this culture alone. So shout out to Abbott Elementary, shout out to Quinta Brunson. Oh, and Shirley Ralph, who has been in this game forever, but I think my generation knows her most as Moesha's mama. But she was the original Dreamgirls, Dina and all that back in the day. She's been in this game for 40, 50 years. She got an Emmy nomination off the show. And so did Tyler William. Either way, when I meet him, just know it was all love. Everybody hates Chris. God, I hate that I have to say that. That's not right because he has a name. I know one of them is Tyler, and I know one of them is William. But either way, he also got an Emmy nomination for supporting actor for Abbott Elementary. So I love moves for the culture. I love it when we get to shine, and that's the moment to shine. Also, shout out to Condoleezza Rice and Sandra Douglas Morgan for both getting into the NFL game. Condoleezza Rice actually just signed a part ownership deal with the Denver Broncos, which I didn't even know she had any affiliation with. But I like it when people are making moves. She has such a weird taste in people's mouth in history because she was the Secretary of State, but she was for like George Jr.'s campaign. So that's like, It's weird because I don't know. It's like being the smartest person and just not the smartest class. So I think it's dope that she's making a move there on the NFL move, and welcome to the Broncos and welcome to Denver. And speaking to people welcoming to the Broncos and everything, Russell Wilson, if y'all are out shopping in Colorado Springs right now, Russell Wilson is all the grocery stores. Him and Sierra got campaigns for all these different charities and stuff. Girl, I went to Safeway today. There's literally like Russell Wilson signs for his new charities, and then you go to the register, they ask if you want to donate to his foundation, which of course I did because it's Russell Wilson, but it's like, dang, like, he is just that. I hope he is who he keeps showing he is, because that's wild, because I didn't think them type of people existed, but that's dope, because, I don't know, I think it's dope that he's in Denver. I'm excited to see where the Broncos go this year, and I definitely want to hear what y'all think the Broncos are going to do this year. I think this is probably one of the biggest trades since we had. And I'm not a big Denver person or a big football person, so before I mess up one of the Manning brothers, it was Peyton, right? Because Peyton's the OG. So I think this might be the biggest move to the Broncos since that trade. But y'all let me know, because if y'all want to hit me up on football, I am willing to learn, because I don't know. Basketball, it's easy. You just run to court, you shoot, it's some free throws, and out the line, it's some three-pointers. Football, you got interceptions, and this is a 2-point play, and this is a 1-point play, and this is a field this. And child, who has time? Like, just run into the yellow thing and make the touchdown. Like, it's way more complex than it has to be. And that also brings me back to Sandra Douglas Morgan, who is the first female to be president in NFL history. So shout out to her. I believe she's out there with the Raiders, if I believe correctly, but I can verify that. But shout out to black women making money and moves out here in the NFL. That's what's up. Also, on things y'all need to know, Arizona, which I also believe is in the top 5 of closet racist states, has passed a law that you cannot film police activity within 8 feet. These are the moves that y'all need to notice and pay attention, because these are the ways that they try to block your rights. So in Arizona, you are not allowed to film within 8 feet of the officer and his arrest. And this actually stems from police being recorded using, of course, what did they all, excessive force. But the crazy thing about Arizona is that it got caught because they were doing it towards homeless people. So be aware that these are things that are going into effect in your country right now. It starts on September 24th for the state of Arizona, and we already know all it takes is for one state to pass something that makes no sense for other states to start passing things like this. It's going to be considered a standalone misdemeanor, but you can get up to 30 days in jail just for recording an officer during arrest. So remember that your cameras have zoom, and remember that the Snapchat on your cameras have a better zoom. So 8 feet is fine. Make sure you still tape, because it's the smartest thing to do. And then speaking of silly stuff, Emmett Till, we are fine. Emmett Till is a story that I feel like if you are a minority in this country, especially a black minority, you already know what it is. It is a story of a teenage boy who basically got tortured, mutilated, and killed in 1955 for supposedly whistling at a white girl or somehow interacting with a white girl, and basically got jacked up in the realest way. And then about 10 years ago, 5 to 10 years ago, this white lady, Carolyn Bryant Danham, she recanted her story and basically said that it never happened, it never went down like that, and basically we just swept it under the rug. And for the first time in 2022, mind you, I just said this case happened in 1955. In 2022, they are finally calling for an arrest warrant to be made for her. That's crazy. That is crazy, and that is that dangerous stuff right there that makes no sense, because somebody died on a lie of somebody else. And it doesn't help when we consider that in race relations, because a lot of people like to think racism is so old, but the person who did this is still alive out here. So we have to remember that it's not that old. And it's crazy because I have a grandmother, I know a lot of senior citizen people, and I understand that when you are those last years of life, you deserve to go out peacefully. And I would never want somebody to go out not peacefully when they're in their elderly ages. But this is a big thing. Like, this is a huge thing. And then also in conjunction to that, there were also protesters who were outside of her living facility, her senior living facility, because people want justice. And I don't know, I guess that brings me to my question. Is there an expiration on justice? Like, that's the big question. Is there genuinely an expiration on justice? Because if Dr. Cosby did what people said he did, and it goes all this time around, is there an expiration on justice for those ladies? So my question is genuinely, like, I want to see this lady locked up. It sucks that she's in her 80s now, because when I'm in my 80s, I just want y'all to let me eat and leave me alone. With that being said, I don't have that level of a secret to take to my grave, so I can't understand what she's feeling. But I know in a country that has tension when it comes to things like this in particular, this was a bad look. This was a really, really, really bad look. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that with this whole Emmett Till situation. Y'all know y'all can hit me up on Deni the Godmother. Y'all know y'all can hit up Family the Flavors of Sly. And y'all know y'all can give us a call at 719-300-7936. And then one more thing I want to talk about before we go into paying the bills and taking care of our people and all that good stuff is making sure that we... Ooh, I done lost my place, Lord. God is good, though. Is making sure that we are aware of things that are happening in the country. And the biggest one still is Roe v. Wade. Y'all know what's going on with the Roe v. Wade thing. I will say President Biden signed an executive order protecting abortion access and reproduction health care after the Supreme Court overturned the Roe versus Wade thing. This is all just getting murky and messy. I don't like it. I know that I'm in Colorado. I feel a bit safer when it comes to things like this because we're not one of those states that's just that crazy with respect to the South. But California, Washington, Colorado, we're more of a... We don't really play with things like that. Like, we're not really like that crazy. Colorado's really high on like transgender reassignment surgery. Like, we're not really super... like red in that sense. It's definitely a 50-50 state. So I know that overall, me living here all these years, Colorado's vibe is very much just stay on my business, but people still be nosy, so it's weird. But either way, he signed that executive order in, and that means that it's going to help try to protect our access to the abortions and the contraceptions. It's going to make sure that we keep our HIPAA laws intact when we have to deal with things like that, and it's going to also make sure that we keep or try to protect emergency health care under the law. I feel like this is one positive he can do, because the Biden administration is kind of embarrassing right now, with respect. Like, Cat Williams talks about it, so if you have time, go on YouTube and look at Cat Williams' thoughts on it. But I do know that we just sent Syria like a lot of money. And by a lot of money, I want to say about $1 billion or so to help with their medical workers who got bombed in the Ukraine because of the war that they're having with Russia right now. And while I am all for making sure that everybody stays safe, y'all already know it's the hypocrisy in democracy, y'all. Like, I do not want to be like, because I'm not a person that feels like, why did they get and why don't I have? But I do feel like if you are the president of the country, A, where are y'all getting this money from? And B, how are you going to take care of, or have the perception that you take care of, medical workers who have nothing to do with you when you're not taking care of the medical workers in your country? You have people who ride in ambulances that can't afford. Like, so we really need to work these things out. This country's about to go into a recession, and I would never say we can't help nobody else. I understand that America's one of the more spoiled countries in the grand scheme of things, but you always got to take care of your own first. Like, so it's kind of concerning that for a country that seems to not have anything at all, we seem to have money for things in the wrong places sometimes, in my perception. But that's something else that y'all can holler at me about. Let me know how y'all feel about it. I'm willing to hear it. We about to go to commercial, but y'all can hit me up 719-300-7936, or y'all can make sure y'all hit me up on social media at Deni the Godmother. We're going to go pay these bills, y'all. I'll be back. Hey y'all, it's your girl Tiffany Deni. Welcome back to the Tiffany Deni Show. We are up here with Family Flavors The Slide. You know you can reach me at 719-300-7936. We've so far just been talking about what's been going on in the world, what's been going on in the city, which hasn't been that much, but most of the world. But the topic today is Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. And yeah, I know it sounds crazy because Mental Health Awareness Month is in May. But Minority Mental Health Awareness Month is in July, and that stands out for its own reasons. The first one is because while it got established in 2008, it didn't become a thing until around the pandemic time, because we were finding out that, not surprisingly, a lot of racial and ethnic minority groups struggled to get access to their proper medical health, substance abuse treatments, all these things that they needed that could help with your mental health. Minorities in particular, with me being one, is a special topic when it comes to this topic called mental health. Because if you grew up on, especially the black or brown side of things, mental health ain't even something that's really a topic until now. Like, this is the first time this generation and the generation under me is the first time that I feel like we're genuinely talking about mental health, and it's a thing. Mental health is a thing, and generational curses are a thing, and we need to establish that right now. Like, we can't keep running from that. Mental health is a thing, and generational curses are a thing, and when you're honest with yourself, you can start helping. So we started, or not we, because I wasn't there when they had that meeting, but Minority Mental Health Awareness Month started in 2008. And like I said, it just started gaining some traction here in these last couple of years because the pandemic, everything's changed in the pandemic. But this is something that hits hard because, once again, I'm here for the culture, with the culture, and by the culture. And this is something that hits the culture hard, whether we want to talk about it or not. And I did some research, I did some digging, I started learning more about mental health within the community. I think the first thing I want to talk about is the history of why it's not even talked about in our community. And I think the biggest one is because, number one, all the way up until this generation, the generation under us and the generation before me, it was seen as like a no thing in the community. It was seen as something that either rich people dealt with, non-minority people dealt with, or straight up, you need to go to church and talk to God about it. That's how I was raised, with respect. Like, you go to church, you talk to God, what's this mental health thing? And mental health is something that is genuinely affecting our community. So as I was looking around and doing some research and poking and all that other stuff, number one, I think the most alarming thing I found out was that the second leading cause of death for Black people ages 15 to 24 is suicide. 15 to 34 if you're Hispanic. That's alarming, y'all. 15 to 24 or 34, I'm 34, is not enough time on this earth to decide that your life ain't worth it. Because if I don't take myself out or somebody don't take me out, I could very well live till I'm 70, 80, 90. And I don't know if I want to live to 100 because I don't want to deal with y'all that long. But if God sees fit, it's just alarming that somebody would want to take their life at 24, 34 years old. And these are things that are affecting a demographic differently than they're affecting everybody else. And there's many reasons for this. A lot of reasons for this. It could be chalked up to what we deal with on a day-to-day basis, you know, like we all know there's a difference in our day-to-days and our perspectives. It could also be chalked up to, and what a lot of the research shows, is just income levels. A lot of your places that have the lower income levels seem to deal with suicide a lot more. So, you know, these are things you have to be conscious of and aware of. And then something else I found out, it was so much I found out about mental health, and especially this whole suicide thing while I was researching, is that according to the Department of Health and Human Services, Black men and Hispanic men tend to go to suicide about 4 times more than Black women and Hispanic women. Black men and brown men, just using brown to generalize because not everybody Hispanic, you got Latinos in there, it's a conversation. Either way, it is 4 times more likely because men are taught not to talk about their feelings. And that's a stigma we need to stop. We need to stop this whole men can't talk about their feelings thing. And we need to stop this whole conversation where a man goes home to his woman and he's not able to talk to her because he feels like he's going to be demasculated. I 100% agree and approve and encourage therapy. Everybody that I've chose to play today are people who have come forward with their mental health problems. I decided to play Destiny's Child because you have Kelly Rowland and Michelle Williams who have both opened up about their own depression, anxiety today. I've played Jay-Z because Jay-Z has also opened up about his anxiety. You know, mental health is something that in the Black and brown communities we're kind of told to just be big, be strong, and keep it moving. But it's not working. It's not working. And the thing is that we have more access to things now than we ever have. So when I'm looking at these numbers and looking at the research, it's bothersome. It's very bothersome. I found out that high school Black girls are literally 60% more likely to go to suicide than their white counterparts. These are problems, y'all. These are things we need to talk about. This needs to be a conversation because this isn't something that I don't even understand. Like, I understand what's happening, why it's happening, and everything else, but the problem is, and this is something that we're going to address as the last topic before we even close out today, is that with Black girls and Black women in particular, I can understand why at that high school age you can feel like that might be your only way out. But once again, almost every study I've showed where we lead in the suicide rate is under 40. And that's the problem that is really bothersome because midlife crises don't even happen till 55. And that's midlife, y'all. Like, so we really got to understand that this is a problem and we need to conversate. Conversate is a horrible word. We need to converse about this. But bottom line is that I'm for the culture, I'm with the culture, and the culture in my demographics primarily Black and brown people. And at the end of the day, both groups are less likely to seek mental health treatment than anybody else in the country. And it's not working. It's not working. And I feel like particularly with Black and brown people, shout out to Italians, Russians, and Germans as well, we're kind of told that it's okay to drink and sleep it off and wake up the next morning and keep it going. We have this oppression thing happening. And I'm only going to the drink thing because the numbers are alarming, especially in the Black community, when it comes to how much we spend on alcohol and various substances throughout the years. And it's not to say that you can't spend this money, but it's to say for people who don't have the wealth that they should, and to find out that a lot of that money could be used towards wealth, is used to help with us cope and to suppress and to deal instead of just talking to somebody. Because I haven't even mentioned your medication objects because I don't believe in that as much. I do believe some people need meds because some people just need meds. But either way, you have the option to talk to therapy. This isn't the 40s. This isn't the 50s. This isn't the 60s. Most health insurances cover a therapy session. They cover your primary care to at least recommend you to go to a therapy session. So the way that I urge my people to make sure that we take care of our mental health, because this can't keep happening. We can't have these young black kids out here or these young black adults out here feeling like their only option is to get away from things when we have so many other options. Mental health is a thing, and the first thing you can do about your own mental health is be aware of it. Be aware when you're hurting. Be aware what your triggers are. Be aware of things that may make you act less than or in some way, in a way that isn't the best reflection of you. Just be aware and be okay with the fact that you're not okay. And I'm speaking to minority women when I say that. Be okay with the fact that you are not okay. And I feel like we don't have to always wear the cape. We're humans. We bleed. It is what it is. So my encouragement as we deal with Minority Mental Health Awareness Month is to please make sure that y'all check yourselves. Make sure, and not in a bad way. If you're hurting, be honest with yourself. If you're sad, be honest with yourself. If you're frustrated, be honest with yourself. Don't try to cope your way around it, sleep your way around it, and especially when it comes to black and brown people, eat your way around it. Deal with it. It hurts for a second. It's going to hurt for a smaller amount of time. It hurts less to take 2 years of therapy than 20 years of drinking. Trust your girl when she says that. So we're going to keep talking about this mental health thing for a little bit more. We're going to also talk about just a couple more things that's going on in the country. But you know you can reach me at 719-300-7936. We're going to pay these bills. Y'all make sure y'all hit up Family Flavors The Slide or hit me up at Deni the Godmother on every social media platform, Instagram, Snapchat, or anything else that's y'all's business. We'll be back. I'll talk to y'all again soon. this is my culture, people. So if you of the culture, you already know who Styles P is. Styles P is of the Lock. Styles P is of Cell Block. Cell Block. My big brother's gonna kill me on this one because he made me listen to Styles, and he made me listen to Jada, and he made me listen to Chic. So the fact that I am drawing a blank when it comes to their name, I know I'm gonna hear about this later, y'all, and that's okay. But either way, Styles P is a very reputable rapper out here. He's a New Yorker, and this week he was actually walking through New York, because no matter how famous you are, it seems like people in New York still walk and take subways, which is cool. Maybe I'll move to New York when, I get rich, because that is not a broke state. Either way, while he was walking, he did see some officers slam another unarmed black woman to the ground, and he intervened. We appreciate that, Styles. He definitely made sure that was known to not be accepted. We don't slam people on the ground when they're not a threat to you. We don't attack people who are unarmed when you are armed. This is just basic code. Like, why are we still saying this in 2022? It's crazy to me that we're still having these conversations. We're still having these discussions. We're still going through these things. Like, ain't people tired? But shout out to Styles P the Ghost, because a lot of brothers would literally just keep it walking because it's not, or keep it moving because it's not their business. But for you to stop, make sure that you had a level of protection over baby girl, make sure that you were able to present yourself in a way that was educated, and also letting people know that you're not the one to play with. All that takes balance, baby. So I definitely commend him. I definitely commend every brother who's out here making sure that their sister's not just out here getting hurt and played because it's a rarity. And the next brother I want to shout out, and this is a brother I really never thought I would ever shout out when it came to the black community. Not because he doesn't identify, but like Charles Barkley. Either way, Charles Barkley, I don't know. I'm not going to say, like, I love Charles Barkley, one of the best defensive NBA players of all time. Especially to be one of the GOATs without a ring ever. And I'm not trying to say that in shade, because I don't mean it in shade. It's genuinely just like, he's a GOAT without having to have all the extra accolades that come with being the GOAT. Like, Charles Barkley might very well be one of those players who genuinely doesn't have that same accolade as a LeBron or a Jordan or a Patrick Ewing even. Well, I don't know. Him and Patrick Ewing might be in that. They should do a versus if they made an NBA versus. But either way, I say Charles Barkley to say that Charles Barkley actually donated $1 million to Spelman University. And I love that. Not only because Spelman University is an HBCU, which is a historically black college university, but Spelman is a girls' HBCU. So for him to donate $1 million to a girl HBCU is amazing. Spelman is definitely the top HBCU, right under Howard and Morehouse. They're the girls' only one. I lived in Atlanta for a few years, and Spelman is not to be played with. Them girls at Spelman are focused. They are not playing with you, and they're not going to be distracted by your goofiness. Shout out to Spelman. Shout out to Morehouse, because those are the elites. And if we want to talk levels in which we're talking about like Martin Luther King is Morehouse. We're talking about Coretta Scott King being Spelman. Like, Spelman is the elite of the elite. So if you have a daughter and she applies for Spelman and she gets in, just know your baby's smart, because that is not a cheap school, and it is not often that we have those type of donations from people who aren't alumni and aren't females. So shout out to Charles Barkley for donating that $1 million to Spelman. And then just so I can get y'all to figure right, the U.S. sent over another $1.7 billion to Syria. So I just want to make sure we have the correct number right, because I said $1 billion something. It's $1.7 billion we sent. I thought we were supposed to be getting rid of all the student loans. Like, I'm not going to say America's a scam, but once again, with my not-nots, we not a scam. Like, it just feel real good. It feel real, like, we look rich, but, like, it's just, child, it's levels to this thing. And if you were anything besides the upper class, you're going to feel it. That's just the bottom line on that. Like, for some reason, the rich people just have a different reality a lot of times than those of us who are even middle class and below. But wow. And speaking of rich people and attitudes, let's talk about Chris Brown and his attitude for his new album flopping. I wish I knew the album name, but I didn't research it. And it's not because I don't care about Chris Brown. I was a teenage black girl when Poppin' came out and Running came out. So, I had my Chris Brown praise. But, number one, Chris, stop dropping albums with like 15, 20 songs. It is 2022. Ain't nobody trying to hear all that. Like, and if we do, then you got to give us a few weeks, a few months to process this. Like, you can't get mad. So the album has shown to be one of his more commercial disappointments. But if you're in this industry, if you're an artist of any type, or anything like that, whether it's movies, TV, paintings, art, music, not everything's going to be a success. That's just the bottom line on that. But most artists and professionals know that that's just the name of the game. However, our Chris Brown, the same dude who's been forgiven time and time and time again by this industry, has decided that he has an attitude because we didn't support his last project. Now, I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for dark skins when I say, Chris Brown, sir, don't eliminate your demographic. That's just goofy. It's just goofy. Like, he's making a lot of music, and in these musics he's making slick comments about what seems to be sisters, our hair texture, our complexion, things like that, and that's fun and it's games, but you forget that the women that you're with now are with you because you're Chris Brown, and the women that actually bought the albums, especially in your way to being Chris Brown, were women who look like me. So when you exclude the women who look like me, when we're the secret supporters, you can't get mad when we don't F with you no more. Like, how many nappy hair lines do you expect me to pay to listen to? That sound goofy. I'm not finna listen to your album if I know every song's gonna be about drugs, every song's gonna be about sex, not making love, just blatant sex. And then you're gonna make sneak disses to women who are like me. Like, who does that? Of course your album gonna flop because we've been making your career. Like, but we're not gonna do that no more. So T-Pain actually said he has a princess complex. And I agree, it's a princess complex. First of all, no artist, no actor, nobody in Hollywood, we don't owe you our loyalty as regular people. I need people to understand that, because I feel like there's attitude sometimes when people drop projects and they don't get support. Nobody in the general public who works a blue-collar job and especially makes less than $100,000 a year owes a millionaire their loyalty when they're a stranger. So when you go to Twitter and you go to Facebook and you go to social media to just kind of hype up the fact that nobody loves you or whatever it is you're trying to say, please remember who you're talking to. Please. And this is kind of the issue that Kanye's been having as well, where it's just like you're cutting off your core demographic because you become a new person. But then you're getting mad because it's not showing the same as it did when it was your core demographic. Like, make it make sense, because the math ain't mathin'. The math ain't mathin'. And I agree with T-Pain. He's being a princess right now, especially like Chris Brown. Chris Brown, well, both of them. Both of them is just princesses. And both of them, I child, that'll just be stories on their own. Like, because it's exhausting me just thinking about both of them. But it's just, number one, Chris, you're in album, I don't know, 10, 12, 14. You're a tourist. You just be dropping music. Heartbreak, I just finished getting through that like two months ago. And what that come out 3 years ago? Like, I'm not playing with you. Like, these 20-plus song albums, who has time, sir? Especially when they all have the same sound. Like, we need to stop that. And so, if you're going to complain about support, make sure you don't cut off your demographic. I say all that to say that. That's just what it is. Either way, if you have thoughts on that, make sure you hit me up, Deni the Godmother, 719-300-7936. Remember, and just to give y'all the reminder of what we got going on, we have Slippin' and Slidin', Family Flavors of Slide. We all going to be out there July 17th, 12 through 5. I'm going to be out there talking to the people. We got DJ Lack going there. He going to be there as well. You know, we have a lot going on. We got games, races, food. We got drinks. We got backpack giveaways. And make sure y'all hit me up. We also making sure that if you have any extra supplies at the house, things like that, make sure you hit me up so we can go ahead and make sure everybody's blessed out here in these streets. You can hit me up 719-300-7936 for more information about that, or Deni the Godmother, or Family Flavors of Slide in social media. Other things that are going on. Oh, I forgot to mention the comedy roast. There's a comedy roast going on at Club Tilt, which I told y'all last week is one of my new favorite places because it is hard to get good cultured food out here, and they be hooking me up. So you have that going on, and I love comedy. I'm a huge fan of comedy because comedy is the best medicine. And on top of that, if we're going to talk about differences, minority comedy be different. We lit over here. So that's what else is happening, is I know that's going to be a turn up, because especially when it comes to roasting, because we do roasting different, child. A little bit savagery, if we want to be honest with it. And then we have Glow for Good, July 20th, 6 through 10, is Sunset Yoga with Craftmatic. Thanks again to Craftmatic for coming by a few weeks ago and talking to me. And then we have the 1-year anniversary for Men of Influence. So if you need to know what's going on in the city of Colorado Springs or even the city of Denver, please make sure you holler at your girl, because I'm going to let you know. I'm going to let you know how you can help. I'm going to let you know if you don't want to help, how you can just turn up. Talk to me. I got y'all. Anyways, we're going to go to this commercial break real quick. It is your girl, Tiffany Deni. We're going to talk to y'all for a few more minutes, give y'all this quick recap before we wrap it up. But right now, we got to pay our sponsors. I'm going to talk to y'all in a second. Hey, y'all. It is your girl, Tiffany Deni. We are back and concluding this week's episode of the Tiffany Deni Show. And this month, we are talking about not only disorders, but we're talking about disorders as well. So it is Disorder Month and Awareness Month for everybody, but it's also Minority Mental Health Month. So because of that, I wanted to address that because, like I said earlier in the show, minority mental health is a huge thing, and it's something that is not being addressed as much as it should, but more than it's ever been. So that's kind of crazy, but it's hurting people, and it's something that definitely needs to be talked about. So remember, if you're having issues with your mental health, if you're having thoughts of self-harm or suicide, there are options for you. There are options for you. You don't have to go to sleep every night on that, and you don't have to use some way to cope it. We can heal this and move forward and become the better us, because it's all about evolution. And then just some other things I want to go ahead and mention before we get out of here is the shows. Family Flavor's got shows, baby. Y'all need to make sure y'all check us out, because it's not just me, Tiffany Deni, the Tiffany Deni Show on Wednesdays from 7 to 9, by the way. But you also have Miss Regina English, who just won for main nomination for House, I want to say 41.
House District 17.
17, I was off. I knew it was one of these houses, child, but House District 17, she just won a nomination for that. The main elections are in November, so you know I'm going to spend all September and October making sure that we're clear about how these elections work. But she just won that. But she also has a show every Friday, so you want to check her show out every Friday morning. We got Queen's show. Queen is my baby girl. She out here designing these fashions out here. And being a black fashion designer in Colorado Springs is probably one of the hardest things you can do if you were in the city like that. And she comes on Friday night. We got the Shizzle Show on Sundays, and right after the Shizzle, here we go with these words, Lord. Pause. Okay, so right after the Shizzle Show, we have the Titus Show. So we have shows lined up, stack to stack to stack, and you know, as soon as I can, I'm going to try to build a calendar for y'all and just post that up so that y'all know what shows to expect by who. But y'all know your girl is Tiffany Deni. I got my show by the culture, for the culture, with the culture, because I am the culture. So that is the joy of this show. Make sure that y'all come see us at the Wildflower Park. I'm getting this word. I'm so proud of myself. I am so proud of myself. I would pat myself on the back, but it took a lot of adhesive to wear this shirt today, so I can't. But I'm getting this word. But either way, it's Sunday, July 17th, 12 to 5. Races, speakers, music, food, bounce houses, giveaways. Come show your, and of course me. I keep forgetting that part. Either way, come show your love. DJ Lag gonna be there. We just gonna have a good time. We're gonna be out here talking. We're gonna be out here for the community. Come on, it's a field day for us. You wanna make sure you come out, because we only have so much stuff for the culture in the city, and this is another good one. And I like anything positive, anything and everything positive. So, and before I get out here, I definitely want to make one more time to just shout out Dr. Penn, who was here last week, because not only did she just educate me on a lot of things that I didn't know about health, especially when it came to the culture and everything, but she definitely just came out here and inspired and made sure that a woman who is my age, younger, or even just a little bit older has a chance, and knowing they have a second chance. And that's why we need to understand why mental health is important, because people can't be out here taking away their own second chances. You have options, you have chances. So I'm going to get up on out of here. Your girl Tiffany Deni is definitely going to wrap it up. Next week, we definitely going to have a lot more going on with this show. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to me. It makes me feel good. I appreciate y'all for tuning into Family Flavors to Slide, because we are that network, and we definitely going to get y'all out here. Y'all going to see me next Wednesday, 7 to 9. Y'all already know. And I am able to be reached as Deni the Godmother on most social media platforms. That does include Facebook. Doesn't include Facebook, it will. Snapchat and Instagram, or you can find me, the whole team, the whole crew, Family Flavors to Slide on social media, and even better, you can see us in person Sunday, Wildflower. There it goes. Wildflower. Here we go. We're going to get it. I got it right the whole show, so I'll take this one time. Wildflower Park, July 17th, 12 to 5. It's our field day. It's our little cookout. Fun, games, all that stuff. So, y'all can call the station if y'all have any questions, 719-300-7936. Other than that, I will talk to